So I typically have a rule that if it doesn't move, then I don't buy it. This is like a cost saving measure to keep me from buying statues. And while I admit, even when I buy action figures, they're pretty much static. Once I take them out of the box and put them on the shelf, they'll more or less stay in that pose forever. I've had this particular figure or statue, this Batgirl Ame-Comi figure. Been watching it for the past couple of years. It really interested me because of this science ninja team Gatchaman look going on there. So maybe you know that anime from like the 70s. Uh, you've got these people in bird costumes, right? With, oops, this is upside down, sorry. Bird costumes from Tatsunoko with capes and helmets with clear visors over the front. And this Ame-Comi design of Batgirl really reminded me of this. And while Barbara Gordon and Batgirl are probably my favorite of the extended Bat family, that's what really made me want this design. That being said, this Ame-Comi series from DC from 2012 is from that really rough period where you got a lot of Western artists trying to emulate the manga style, and it just does not look that great. It's, DeviantArt quality, beginner DeviantArt quality, and they were selling it as a digital comic series. So the budgets were already lower. They were distributing it online rather than in print, or online first rather than print. And I'll admit I haven't read it, but still, I like this figure. That being said, this statue started at $125 in 2016, and that price, combined with my rule for not buying static things, made me just hold off from buying this. But this past week, I noticed that some places were selling it for around $40. And that seemed really iffy, especially considering that. So this version is the premium motion statue version. And there are cheaper versions with just a basic plastic circle base that are cheaper. But then even on eBay, those are going for like $60 or so. And for this, for around 40 or so, something was weird. So I decided to give it a try. Looks like we got a certificate of authenticity here. It is not numbered. Not that I can see. No numbers. So just a little cardboard insert. It's from Factory Entertainment. Inside you can see we've got our styrofoam coffin. So let's take that out. Let's see. First, on the bottom you've got your legalese. I bought this from Amazon, so we got this sticker here that's covering up the actual barcode. Oh, I don't like this styrofoam, gets everywhere. All right. Now we cut the foam. Carefully. All right, so looks like we've got our base here. So this is at least the most immediately noticeable difference between this premium version and the regular version. I'm also hoping that the paint and seams are cleaned up too. But like I said, the regular version is just a simple circle plastic base. Whereas this, whoa, what are you stuck to? This is actually a pretty hefty metal base. Yeah, this has got some weight to it. This is probably, feels like a pound, maybe pound and a quarter. Yeah, that feels hand painted actually. It's got a very matte texture, rough matte texture, and it definitely feels like it was painted on rather than printed on. Here's the side. You've got some supports here. That's metal. That's metal. It seems attached, like it won't come off. Oh, yes. Here we go. We've got numbers. So this is number 334 of 500. And it's really weird that the Factory Entertainment logo is upside down compared to the rest of this. All right. So let's get to Batgirl herself. So we can see that she's got this foam paper wrapping around her and another foam base here. Yeah, just all kinds of foam. 3 different kinds of foam. What a value. What's the safest way to do this? Oh boy. Yep, feels just like PVC, like the regular one would be. And then there's also a black costume version, whereas this is a blue costume, blue and gold. Oh yeah, so much foam. The regular version comes in a window box, just like some of the older DC collectible action figures, or I guess even the current ones. Very common, meant to be mass-produced, but this one is definitely packaged very premium manner. So let's take a look. So just like Gatchaman, you can see the, excuse me. Let's do a side-by-side here. So you can see the, oops, I have no more hands to focus. You can see a lot of the influence here with the skin-tight suits and then the cape that are like wings, the dynamic pointing pose, and then, importantly, the helmet clear mask covering for the eyes. That's wobbly. Oh, it's attached. It's a different piece, and it feels like it's a rubber hose, painted rubber hose. I guess that's to make sure that if it's tapped when it's being displayed, that it doesn't immediately snap off, because this would be very fragile, this joint. How about your other arm? Nope, this one's solid, and the legs are solid too. Let's look at the details. You've got black bodysuit with blue cape, red accents, blue, red, blue, gold accents. That's a lot of colors going on here. Got heels. Here's a peg. Oh, guess there's only one attachment point, yeah? There's only one attachment point of where she'll go. Holding a batarang in a weirdish hand pose. Got pouches, so you got 2 different kinds of gold paint there. You got a different kind of gold paint for the pouch versus the belt. Looks like they're staying on the lines pretty well. How are the seams doing? Let's look at the head. Yeah, based on what I'm seeing here versus other video reviews I've seen online, This definitely looks like a nicer version, or a more carefully produced version, without the rough seam lines at melds and joints, and nicer paint. One thing that does stand out to me that's arguably worse than the other regular version is that the hair is not translucent. So on the regular version, it's a translucent plastic that they use, so you can sort of see through it. And it's not realistic, but it's an interesting effect. It's gonna bother me. And you can see the face here. It's kind of flat-ish and odd proportions that really remind me of a lot of Western takes on the anime manga style. But I can say that I think the eyes here turned out looking better than even on the regular versions. I got little punches there for accent on the bat ears. Spikes on the gauntlets. Bat symbol. All right, let's put her on the base. All right, the peg didn't necessarily see keyed, but it seems like there's a very specific rotation for her. You got your dynamic pose, whoops. Dynamic pose here, though she is looking down. So depending on where she's displayed, she won't necessarily be looking outwards. It sort of makes sense that she's looking down because, you know, they're always on the rooftops. But yeah, pretty pleased for this. Glad to finally have it after a few years, and it is a more premium version, and it doesn't look as cheaply made, cheaply finished and painted. Yeah, she's looking more forward if you tilt this to the side, but then your background isn't facing forward, or your whole base isn't facing forward. But it's a solid piece. This foot, her right foot, is right on the edge and actually just a bit over the end of the stand. But overall, really solid. So this is the Factory Entertainment Ame-Comi Batgirl Premium Motion Statue. So that's a mouthful there. And down from $125 in 2016 to 40-ish in 2020. And sorry, I do not know what this kanji says.